So today I wanted to put together a short video to help anyone out there who's just installed Battlefield 2042, because there are a bunch of hidden options in this game and sort of convoluted ways to access things, and a lot of them aren't instantly apparent, nor are they explained to you. So let's get into it. So first of all, video settings. I've done a quick comparison here for you guys showing all the different presets. In the very top right is the frame rate. You can see my CPU load on screen there. It's a Ryzen 5950X 16-core CPU, and to the right of that you can see my GPU usage, and there I'm running an RTX 3080 Ti at 1440p. So just mentioning the specs there, since most people won't be running this kind of hardware. But as you can see here, the fidelity of the game isn't really impacted all that much between the different presets. A lot of people have been complaining about low GPU usage, and I will say that while I'm getting about 90% usage and upwards here, it does seem to increase slightly as I go up through the presets towards Ultra. So obviously it goes without saying, if you want the best performance, just use the low preset. But for me, I like to have a mixture of performance and quality, so these are the settings that have struck a nice balance for me. So texture quality and filtering on high, lighting and effects on medium, post-process quality, mesh quality and terrain quality on high, undergrowth medium, TAA low, and honestly if I could turn this off entirely I would, but you can't, and then ambient occlusion off. Down in the advanced section, keep DLSS off because it doesn't seem to actually increase your frames at all at the moment, not even on the maximum performance setting. Ray tracing, obviously keep that off, that one is a massive hog. Nvidia reflex low latency, put that to enabled plus boost. Future frame rendering off, vertical sync off, and high fidelity objects at medium. And then it goes without saying, I think, to turn off motion blur, chromatic aberration, lens distortion, and all of those cinematic effects, unless you're going to record a trailer or something. Now obviously these settings work well for me. For you, I'm guessing you're maybe running like an RTX 2070 perhaps at 1080p with a 144Hz panel. So depending on the frame rate that you get from these settings, you could turn everything down another notch. So, you can set texture quality and filtering on medium instead of high, and then lighting and effects on low instead of medium, etc, etc. Now if you're still getting low GPU usage, there is one other thing you could try, and that is enabling DirectX 12. Now unfortunately you can't do this from the settings, but if you go to Documents, Battlefield 2042 Settings, and then the ProfSave Profile, and you open that up with WordPad, search for a line there called gstrender.dx12 enabled, and change this from a 0 to a 1. Save the file and go check if it changes anything for you. For me, it didn't really make a difference, but I was already getting pretty good GPU usage as it is. If it doesn't do anything for you, you can simply go back here and just change it back. But I have seen people saying that it's made a massive difference for them. Okay, so next I wanted to show you guys how to equip weapons and attachments. Now, I know you're going to say, I mean, that's simple, right, Ghost? Well, believe me, it took me a while to figure out, and this will save you a ton of time. So if you come up here to Collection, and we're in the All-Out Warfare mode here, go over to the Weapons tab, and then basically you have to select the weapon that you want to customize, right? Now, you see the plus menu here, and you see your different kinds of attachments you can get. So you've got ammunition and sight and whatnot. Now what you do is you click on sight, and if you want to change the sights that you have available on your plus menu, you left click on one of the sights, and then down here you can switch it out for another one. So if you are, playing the game, you've just got the weapon, you won't have any of these attachments I have here. You'll just have the 4 around the center, maybe one other sight, and that's about it. So if you unlock one of the sights or one of the attachments, before you can use it, you basically have to come here into this menu, go in sights, click on one of these 3 slots here, and then select the sight that you want to have in that slot. Now, the important thing is that the 4 slots around the center here, closest to the middle, that is your default loadout. So this sight here, the XDR Holo sight, this is the one that I will spawn in with every single time I respawn. And it's important to note because a lot of people have just been having them in any old position and not really knowing how to swap them around, and every single time they spawn they have to go in the plus menu, change to whatever they want. And what you have to do if you want to change the position here is you right click this one and then you left click another one. So it seems really simple, I know, but it took me quite some time to figure that out. And this is especially important in portal mode. If we actually back out of here and we head into Battlefield Portal, we go to collection, head into Battlefield 3 weapons, then let's take for example the M16A3 here. In the base portal mode gameplays, the plus menu is disabled, so if you don't put any of the attachments on the middle squares here, the ones closest to the center, you will actually spawn in with a bare weapon, just like it is right now, and you won't be able to equip these sights that you have in the plus menu in the game because the plus menu is actually disabled in the base portal mode. So if you want to have, let's say for example, this red dot sight here, you have to come into sights, you have to right click the iron sight and then left click the Cobra, and now you've got the Cobra equipped, as you can see. Okay, so I know it seems pretty simple when I explain it, but believe me, it's definitely worth knowing. Alright, coming back to the main menu, there are a few more changes to make there. Under general options, set camera shake to the minimum value of 50. In the display settings under HUD general, I recommend setting show kills made by to nearby. That way you can only see threats that are close by to you on the kill log. Then under crosshair, you can customize this however you like. Personally, I like having my crosshair as thick as possible. Then under audio, I recommend turning the music down. It'll be set at 100% as default, and the end of round music plays for like an entire 100 tickets. It gets really annoying for me, so I turn that down by quite a lot. Now for sound configuration, as a headphone user, stereo sounds best to me, and as for the mix, I suggest testing these out for yourself since, you know, everyone has a different headset, but for me, the Logitech G Pro mix sounds pretty nice. Okay, next, go to controller. Now, I know what you're thinking, Ghost, I'm not even using a controller. Well, it seems that the controller settings are interfering with keyboard and mouse settings, so just hear me out. Head to the on foot section and turn aiming left-right acceleration down to 0 and put the vertical aim and zoom ratios to 100. That way you won't have any inconsistent aiming happening. Next, head into mouse and keyboard on foot and do the same thing there. Now, most of your controls are going to be personal preference, but there is one vehicle control specifically for tanks that I recommend, and that's vehicle aim relative controls set to off. If you have this set to the default, which is on, your tank will constantly turn in the direction your turret is facing, which basically makes shooting forwards whilst driving backwards almost impossible, so I recommend switching this off. Okay, we're almost done, just a couple more. Under accessibility, you can change the request of skip revive when you get downed to a toggle instead of having to hold it. Definitely recommend this one because you're going to die a lot. And one more that I actually forgot earlier, under mouse and keyboard, again on foot, toggle quick throw grenades to on. For some reason this is set to off as default, which means you actually have to equip your grenade and then fire to throw it instead of just hitting G on the keyboard and having your soldier toss a grenade like in virtually every other shooter out there. This should really be on by default in my opinion. Alright, that is it guys, we're done. Hope you find this one useful. Leave any other tips below if you have any. Have a good one, and I'll see you soon.